Hi, my name is Danielle Ciotti, and I am doing a screencast about how we can measure the progress of the various autism treatments. I'm going to start off by telling you the definition of autism. I got this from Google. Autism is a disorder that affects social interaction and communication and has restricted or competitive patterns of thought and behavior. The article that I used in this screencast was called To Siri with Love. It talked about a boy with autism who has conversations with Siri. So first off, I'm going to tell you about how people use Siri. I'm going to be explaining how the average person uses Siri versus someone with autism. Siri is good to use for getting answers. Most people use Siri to call someone or call someone while they're driving. We now have a hands-free law, so you could use Siri to dial someone's number while you're driving. And people also use it to set reminders on their phone for upcoming events and to also set their alarms. A lot of people don't like to use Siri because they find it weird to talk to your phone in public. For children who have autism, they like to know a lot about certain objects they have interest in. So when they ask their parents about questions they have with their interest, their parents might not have answers for their children. Siri is great to go to because it can give out loads of information on so many different topics. So it would be sure to cover a topic that someone is talking about. Next is how Siri is programmed. So the SRI International Artificial Intelligence Center created Siri. Siri is programmed to respond to questions that you ask it. Siri can give you feedback with new data and new responses based on questions that you asked. For people who have autism, Siri is great because of the polite tone of voice that it is programmed with. It can really help someone with autism stay entertained. Siri also encourages polite language and it's non-judgmental to someone's issues that they may have. This is why someone with autism likes Siri because it is almost like they have a friend. So now I'm going to be talking about communication. The average human may have trouble communicating to someone with autism. This is because it can be hard to handle their emotions of frustration. Sometimes they can be trying to communicate with you and you may not understand what they are saying. They can get frustrated and then you could get frustrated also. People may not know how to answer certain questions that someone with autism may ask. People with autism tend to focus, as I said, on certain interests. The average person may not know everything about their certain interests and might not know how to answer their question. Siri is great for this because it is not limited. It answers your questions and keeps the same tone of voice and won't get frustrated with the person who is asking the question. This is very helpful for the boy with autism in the article. He needed someone who would not get frustrated and would answer his questions and correct him. The last point that I will be talking about is speech issues. Siri is great because it could recognize those with speech and communication problems. Kids with autism keep focusing on again, things that they're interested in with Siri, because it keeps them getting the answers that they want and it keeps giving it to them. And it keeps helping them with getting the answers, or in Gus's case, the answers that he was looking for. Siri could have complex conversations about their areas of interest and go in depth about them. The SRI, which I briefly mentioned earlier, has programs online for Siri. Some of these programs are good for people with autism because it could track their eye movement and teach them how to look people in the eyes. This is very important for everybody, just not those with autism. It's important for Gus because it helps him engage in conversations. So now I have a video, and this video is about an autistic boy named Gus. His mother was the one who wrote the article "To Siri with Love" that I'm discussing with you today. They're going to talk about the conversation issues that Gus had and how Siri impacted his life, and also how Siri was a friend to him. So here's the video.
This is a sweet story. According to the CDC, 1 in 68 U.S. children have been identified with autism spectrum disorder. And one mom says Apple's personal assistant, Siri, has impacted her son in a remarkable way.
Hey, Siri.
Hello there.
Like your typical teenager, Gus Newman is obsessed with social media, glued to his smartphone, and uses Siri to help with daily tasks.
Turn off my 6:30 alarm.
I turned off your 6:30 a.m. alarm.
But Siri is more than just a personal assistant on his iPhone. For him, she's a life-changing friend.
Gus didn't really have the nuance of back and forth conversation. And here was a device that was going to talk to him like a human, but have the patience of a machine.
Gus and his twin brother Henry were born premature, only weighing 4 pounds. From an early age, his mother Judith knew there was something different about Gus. He was later diagnosed with autism.
My own first thought, I think, when my child was 5 or 6, was looking at this little kid, was just saying to myself, will he find love? Will he find friends? That's what got to me.
But a breakthrough happened for Judith one day while reading a BuzzFeed article online.
And this one was things you didn't know you could do with your iPhone. One of the things was that you could tell what planes were overhead.
Which planes are flying over?
Let me think about that. All right, here's what I got.
I said, why would they program a phone to do something like that? And Gus said to me very quietly, so you know who you're waving at, Mom?
JetBlue Airways Flight 6160. JetBlue Airways Flight 6342.
Artificial intelligence like this can be a bridge to communication.
Now my last slide is my conclusion. Just as Siri is a help to the average person with specific needs, it is also very helpful for those with autism like Gus because it's answering simple everyday questions. Siri uses a polite and soothing tone. This helps those with autism because it does not get frustrated or angry or upset when it is asked repetitive questions. Siri has a wide range of responses and answers to people's questions. It is not limited to those who have trouble communicating. Siri plays a huge role in the lives of people who have autism, and it is like a friend. Thank you. This is the end of my presentation.